Grand Risings. Grand Rising. Grand Rising this morning. I am on my morning mental. You are witnessing history unfolding right in front of your face. Some of you all are so lost that you can't find your way back. Even when a bonfire has been lit that lights up the sky, you still can't find your way home. There's an old story about a sheep herder who had all his sheep together, and he lost one. He looked for it all day. He couldn't find it. So he went back to the other sheep that he had, and he took care of them. But he still was looking for that sheep that was lost. And then one day he looked up, and here come that sheep. He found his way home. Oh, they celebrated, they partied that night. Why? Because it's more important for us to find the lost sheep and bring them home than it is to celebrate the sheep that are already there. History is being made right in front of you, Black people, in ways you cannot imagine. And yet many of you still refuse to believe what you see. Still refuse to go with your gut feelings. Still refuse to use common sense. When they look back on 2020, all of the historical things that have happened with Black people will only be remembered if Black people remember it. But at the rate we're going, none of this will be recorded by history. But you will remember that it did happen. Yesterday, and if someone else can show me an example, I would like to see it. But yesterday, as I've taught you, power recognizes power. Not anger, not frustration, not lack of direction, not running around leaderless, not standing around spectating, not sitting around just conversating. But power is an expression and a manifestation into a particular situation that you have the power to change, but you just don't do it unless you have to. They say that the United States is the most powerful country on earth. They say that the United States of America has the most powerful military on earth. They say that the United States has more political reach, more political influence, and has more money sunk into other countries around the world, which makes it the chief stranglehold element on this planet. I'm on my morning mental. And people around the world have been witnessing Black people stand up to the most powerful country on earth and do it within the confines of the cage that they call the laws. not break any of them, but stand up to all of them. The same way that they stood up to their leaders, the same way that they broke away from the British crown, the same way that they declared their independence. People around the world are watching. The same thing happened here. The saddest part about it is some of the very people who are involved or should benefit from it have their heads in the sand, or hiding, or are afraid, or are so jealous and envious they can't see past their own selves to realize that it's their time. I find it pathetic when my own people are too blind to see what other people see. If you're just waking up this morning, grand rising to you. If you have not seen the video of the phone call that I received from Congressman Clay Higgins yesterday in response to the threats that he made against myself and the NFAC for simply exercising our constitutional rights to peacefully assemble and to bear arms. If you haven't seen that conversation, you should go watch it. Because I've been looking all night for another instance where the U.S. government or representative thereof reached out to a member of the Black movement, especially the armed Black movement, to make amends and apologize for threatening us, even though everybody else says we're a threat, even though everybody else is saying that we're a terrorist group, even though everybody else says that we're a hate group, even though all these people are saying all these things which are not true. You see, it's easy to talk about somebody until we pull up. It's easy to repeat negative information until you're in my face, just like they found out in Atlanta. So I have to salute the congressman who heard exactly what I said and who responded. We will be in Lafayette, Louisiana, this Saturday. The good congressman is going to come to that very location, and publicly, him and I are going to meet, and he is going to publicly express his remorse and apologize for the threats that he made. If there is another instance of a sitting member of the U.S. Congress coming down to apologize or to make amends with another Black organization on the level of the Black Panthers or any other armed militant group seeking justice for Black people, please send me the video. Because like I told you once before, we're making history. And a lot of you all are sitting back, being ignorant and missing it. But oh, don't worry. If what we're putting in the oven comes out the way it should, I guarantee you won't get a piece of it. You see, I'm just like Shaka Zulu, or more like Hannibal. Don't y'all remember the scene in Shaka Zulu when he finally rose to power, what he said? He said, "And who else here has offended you, mother?" And then he killed them where they stood, because their ridicule and their ignorance is a detriment to the continued development of a truly Black nation. They called Benedict Arnold a traitor in the American Revolution or sometime in American history. You all act like we don't have traitors. We have two types of traitors right now. First, we have the traitors that are sitting on this live who think I don't know that you're a traitor. You'll find out. I've been on to you for a while. So you just keep on cruising along. And when I pull up on you, don't act surprised because I'm going to have the proof. The other group of traitors is black media. And yes, I'm calling them out. History is being made all over the place. But you all keep tuning in to these people and calling them your black media. But they're not talking about what's really going on in the black community. They're afraid to say the name NFAC. They wouldn't dare have me on any of their shows. I don't have to call the list out. You know, your favorite black radio show. That's who I'm talking about. And you know what makes it so pathetic? It now shows me they have no control. They're owned by their handlers. And just like somebody said here, you're scared. And if there's one thing I can't stand, and anybody will tell you, I can't stand a coward. We're going into this fire together. If we hang on to each other, we'll come out the same side. We might be a little burned. However, and I find it interesting that some of these platforms, they'll have everybody on, from politics to pundits to activists to people coming up with all kind of formulas, books, musicians, athletes. But the most important shit that's going on in the black community right now, good or bad, no matter how you look at it. White folks are not wasting any time trying to put a narrative around this shit. But yet these people you call black radio, whose ass you can't stop kissing. See, I'm going to stop blaming them. A lot of it is y'all. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but y'all own worst enemy. That's what I'm on my morning mental this morning. Because I'm over here making history and y'all over there making noise. And I'm going to keep on. I'm not going to stop. Like I told you, instead of running around buying into the bullshit when you didn't know that I was running for the presidency, and when you start to see evidence of me running for the presidency, instead of letting someone tell you who's ignorant to the process what's going on, why don't you just do the smart thing? No, you don't know how to do that. The Federal Election Commission is a website that you can go and look up everybody who's ever ran for the presidency and what the rules are. That's our problem as black people. We're ignorant to these processes, but we quick to have an opinion on them. It is written that your enemies will become your footstool. It is written that your haters will become your elevators. It is written that when you point your finger at one person, 3 are pointed back at you. It is written that what's done in the dark always comes to the light. It is written for a reason. Because somebody learned. Meanwhile, in the case of Breonna Taylor, as I told you all, you was not going to be happy. And now that the truth is starting to come out, maybe now some of you all will understand why I approached it the way I did. Because this is bigger than that woman being killed in her home. It's bigger than that. The depth of corruption, the depth of the good old boy network being at work, the depth that they will go to try to cover up. I tried to explain this to a youngin' the other day. He didn't get it. You see, there's a difference between trying to fight a crime and fight corruption. Entertainment today keeps you ignorant. Whereas they screwed up and gave us entertainment that taught us a few things. There's a movie you should go watch called Serpico. If you've never watched Serpico, Serpico is what happens when a New York cop goes against a corruption machine and what happens to him. Or maybe you might want to go watch a movie called Walking Tall. Walking Tall was a story about a sheriff who tried to clean up a corrupt town and they tried to kill him for it several times, based on a true story. Anytime you fight corruption, you're fighting against a system. And that system is comprised of people who'll do anything and everything to protect the system. You need to go study the real history of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the person that I'm named after. You see, JFK was a real politician who came in to make a difference for everybody, including black people. At first, they thought it was an act because everyone else in the entire political machine was crooked. His father was crooked. Everybody was crooked. So they thought he was a chip off the old block. No, he really got in there and started trying to change shit. He really believed that maybe we could come to America that we all believed in. But people around him said, oh no, this brother is for real. And then his brother came in and they started trying to clean up shit. They tried to clean up organized crime, tried to clean up, try to reverse all this Jim Crow shit that was going down. They blew his head off on nationwide TV to send a message that still resonates 57 years later, that no white man will ever ascend to the office of the presidency with that type of agenda. The only people that will sit in this chair are people that we control, that make sure we keep the status quo the way it is, that we stay on top and everybody else stays on bottom. And if they come up with any way to upset that, we will humiliate them. We will character assassinate them. And if that don't work, we'll incarcerate them. And if that doesn't work, we'll kill them. And they used that same program throughout the 60s to kill every black person that stepped up thinking that they were just going to lead their people to the promised land. And the only place they made sure they ended up was the grave. So they blew his head off publicly. In the meantime, now in 2020, not a whole lot done changed. We're still dealing with the same enemy. We're still dealing with the same challenges. The sad part about it, y'all, is that our own people are in on it too. But we're going to keep on pushing. I have to say that I'm not ever going to piss on a man's grave. I have to be respectful where respect is due. History will be made in Lafayette, Louisiana. Yes, it will. This is our opportunity for the black nation to stand together. Those of you all who are still a part of the black nation. What I'm learning very quickly is that some of you all are big children. I can't change that. I don't play with children. I don't talk to children. I don't argue with children. And it's not my job to pull you up by your bootstraps when you don't even know how to stand up and wipe your ass. Don't have time for that. I bid you a grand rising this morning. It seems like some things just don't change. Did y'all hear about what happened in Mississippi? Y'all remember what happened with Ahmaud Arbery? Remember the white boys got together, jumped in the truck and said yee-haw, and then hunted him down and killed him? It happened again in Mississippi, only this time it was, again, it's a father and son who decided to chase some bros down who was riding on their ATVs. Yeah. Went after them and tried to kill them. They didn't succeed. But it does indicate that apparently it must be a father-son pastime to go hunt an N-word down. Y'all want to go hunt an N today? Yeah, let's go get one. You see, they used to do the picnic where you could pick one and then they'd hang them. So every time you go to a picnic, what you're doing is, see, y'all just blind leading the blind. Well, we've always done that. Really? You've always done that and you never question why you did it? Oh, come on now. It's like Thanksgiving. Y'all remember Thanksgiving, when Thanksgiving will come, for those of y'all that still go to the traditional Thanksgiving. What ends up happening is you go in there, you want to help your mom and your grandmama cook. So they say, go over there and get me the pan out there. You get the pan out and they will get that big old ham, right? They will cut off both the ends and throw it in the pan and then throw all the other ingredients in there. Then they throw that in the oven. And then while it's in the oven, you working on something else. And then you notice that you got the two pieces left over. You got the two pieces of the ham left over. The dog is sitting there like, now you know you ain't gonna eat that. You need to go ahead and send that on down here. And you throw it down to the dog and you ain't gonna see the dog for a while because now he know the bone is next. But he goes, and so you sit there and one day you ask your mother, Mama, why do we cut the ends off the ham? And I mean, is it because parts of the ham are bad? Even though we know it's all bad. You say, is parts of the ham bad? And your mom goes, no. The reason we cut the ends off the ham was because back in the day, we didn't have a pan big enough. So they had to cut the ends off to make it fit. But nowadays you have a bigger pan, but you still cut the ends off. That's how a lot of you all are about this whole existing in America shit. You do things that you've seen people do. You never question why they do it. That's called a generational curse, and you just pass it on. The same way some animals have behavior ingrained into their DNA. You have certain things ingrained in your spiritual DNA, in your sociological DNA, in your esteem DNA, in your perception DNA, and in the bravery of your DNA. It's still there. And that's what we're trying to wake you up from. And if what you witness with the senator, if what you witness with the displays of power, if what you witness with forcing the government to be transparent in the Breonna Taylor case, if what you witnessed thus far has not shown you or awakened you, then you truly cannot be awakened. I'm reminded of y'all remember this TV show? Here we go. Y'all remember this TV show called The Night Stalker? Remember The Night Stalker? The Night Stalker was this dude who was a reporter that was always stumbling upon some supernatural shit. But when he tried to tell people about it, nobody would believe him. Even when he told his boss about it, nobody would believe him. Even when he tried to go and, try to talk to the victims and he would do his research and get proof, nobody believed him. So in the end of every episode, what was his name? Koshak used to, not Kojak. He was the dude with the lollipop, the bald head, but Koshak. You remember that? Koshak would end up having to fight the enemy by himself. Remember that shit? And then when the enemy would get vanquished, then everybody would show up and be like, oh, what happened? That's how a lot of y'all are to me. That's funny because y'all don't believe in the monster when someone is telling you the monster over there. Remember that? And they would always base the Night Stalker on a real story. Like, there was a rumor or there was a children's tale, and they would always, so you have to watch this shit because they would eventually get around to your boogeyman. They would eventually get around to what it is that scared you. You know what I'm saying? And some of the stuff, you learn some stuff there. That's how we are here. That's how a lot of y'all are right now. The monster is real. The monster shows its head in many different ways. The monster looks like me and you. The monster is like an agent in the Matrix, can hop from person to person. As the sun is shining on a new day, we're preparing to go black. There'll be no more morning mentals. There'll be no more facts over feelings until after the exercise is complete. It's going to be historic. Hopefully you'll get a chance to watch it live on television. I'm pretty sure they'll cover this one because got a few dignitaries going to be in the house with us this time, y'all. Not to mention the congressman himself. There's a few other congressmen that'll be there. I'm pretty sure the vice president of the NAACP, members of the ACLU, and all of the different agencies that have already been on the ground in Lafayette. We're trying to get justice for two cases, Ronald Green and, of course, the Pellerin case, the young man who was shot going into this convenience store. So there's going to be a lot of dignitaries. So you can imagine what that's going to be like. But it will be historic, and we will be there in great numbers. If you have your NFAC shirt, we're going to talk about that for a second. Those of you all who have received your NFAC shirts, you are telling me some interesting stories of what happens when you go to places with the shirt on. It exposes the racist attitudes of people right on the spot. Haven't y'all noticed that? You got some people You got some people that, they like, oh, we support you. But what's really strange to me is not the white people that are afraid when they see the shirt, because that's expected. What blows my mind and what people have been telling me is the look that black people give them. They are afraid. I have to ask a question. I'm serious. Maybe I'm just cut from a different DNA. What the fuck y'all afraid of? No. I don't get it. I'm just gotta get. Let's get to the nitty gritty of it, as Malcolm would say. Let's peel back the layers. What are y'all really afraid of? I mean, I gotta act, because I'm not afraid of nothing. Maybe I'm just psychotic because I'm not afraid of shit. Well, was I afraid then? No, I wasn't afraid. Anyway, y'all remember, I'm the comedy. Y'all remember the time I told y'all about when I was on the airplane and the harmonica and all that bullshit? Okay. I'm not going to tell that story. That shit's funny as hell. But I'm not afraid by nature. And I don't understand my people that are afraid. What are you afraid of? I think I'm going to go downstairs and have some herbal tea and maybe go sit outside and talk with the ghetto ducks for a little bit. Maybe they can tell me, because they're not afraid of nothing. Y'all know the ghetto ducks will pull up. Or maybe I'll go sit outside and let the sun shine on my melanin for a little bit before I get in motion here. Or maybe I'll just continue to be afraid and not do anything. Because if I don't do nothing, nothing will change and I'll be safe. Y'all so angry, but you're so afraid at the same time. And now I'm seeing also black men who are afraid. Black men who would much rather say, oh, I don't fuck with that. Okay, well, what do you fuck with? You see, this is the part that's gonna blow y'all, and I'm gonna leave y'all because I don't want to unpack this on y'all because I know y'all can't handle it. You still act like a slave. Remember what they said in the book Brainwashed? It is far easier for you to attack someone who looks like you because you're afraid to attack the slave master. So you keep on trying to attack me, and it's going to continue to blow up in your face every time. But when you decide to get with me and we go against them, then you might come to find out that your enemy does not look like you. The person that pits you against your own people is the people over there. The people over there that's talking negative about you is the people over there. The people who are pulling the strings so that you stay in a second-rate citizenship status are over there. Did y'all see the video of the sister girl, of the mother who caught the teacher teaching the students that George Floyd shouldn't be honored? And she, because we got distance learning now. Kids are at home. Oh, she cussed her ass out and took her teacher out to class. That's how we are. I'm on my morning mental. Again, we made history again. And we're going to make some more history. This has been a historical year for black people. And a lot of y'all are missing it. So y'all go ahead and continue to stay asleep. We're going to continue to liberate. And I keep telling you, when we pull off, by the way, thank you to the individual that reached out to me and say, yo, man, they selling ocean liners. Really? They're selling ocean liners. Cause the cruise line business took a big hit when the quarantine hit. It took a big hit. So now they're trying to sell the ocean liners. So Since I'm familiar with Royal Caribbean, I would love to purchase the Allure of the Seas. You know I know what it is. I would love to purchase any one of those massive ships that you have that can hold 5, 6, 7, 10,000 people. Yes, I'm interested in purchasing one. The black folks don't mind picking up one too. Because if we get our hands on an ocean liner, oh, we can start the process today. Y'all understand? Oh, I'm reaching out to find out how much they want for one, or maybe two, or maybe three. How about four? Would y'all be down to buy a fully equipped cruise ship so we could cruise back on over to the motherland in style? Notice I didn't say see, when we came over here, they stuck us down in the boat, stacked us up like firewood. But if we cruise our ass back to Africa, we're going to do it in style. You know, we got to do it in style, right? We're going to make sure that we got everything on the cruise ship rocking just like it was when y'all spend y'all money to go on the Tom Joyner cruise. And when y'all went over there to see Sinbad for the old school cruise, y'all all cruising all over the fucking place. Then we can cruise our ass right back to Africa because they selling cruise ships. Let that sink in. Now I know I have people walking up to me all day talking about cruise, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's beside the point. Matter of fact, somebody put a shirt together that says, if you black, are you ready to cruise your ass away from here? Yes, they are. And that's what's happening. I done gave y'all the morning mental. Now let's see if we can get ready for the Black Guns formation in Lafayette, Louisiana. It will be historical. To all the good folks in Louisiana who have written and called, said that you need this, you're going to get it. To everybody else, whether you are black or melanated, feel free to come out and witness something that you have never seen before. And to all of the detractors and critics, keep on. Just keep on. Because you are who you are. But just remember, when it's time for us to cruise our way out of here, sir, I'm sorry, you don't have a ticket. You got to stay here. You can't roll with us. Y'all have a good day. Questions about this formation? Let me go ahead and answer a few questions real quick. The bottom line is you cannot participate if you don't have a semi-automatic weapon. That's it. If you have body armor, cool. If you don't, as long as you accept the risk, that's cool. Black pants, black boots, black shirt, black mask. You will be ID'd and you will be verified against our database. Folks, let me be clear here. We're making moves in power. We're not making moves in emotion. And the sooner you all can separate the two, the sooner you can get the things that you're asking for. I can't understand you when you're yelling at me. I can't understand when you all super emotional, and I don't entertain emotions. You shouldn't either, not when you're talking about the salvation of your people. I am the Grandmaster J, and we are the Not Fucking Around Coalition. I'll see you soon. Shalom.